All right, guys, we're moving on to 6.1b, which we're calling Finding Unknown Angle Measures in Polygons. It's still part of 6.1, but kind of split it into two different parts to kind of make it a little easier and make these videos not be so long. So the mission statement is I can use the properties of polygons to find unknown angle measures in various polygons. So we're going to use what we learned yesterday to help us to try to solve actual problems. So I'm going to go through three examples here real quick. And these are examples of things that you're going to see on your practice. So hopefully you are paying attention to what we're doing. Number one, let's just say here, and again, just excuse my drawings the best you can. Let's say we have a quadrilateral here. Again, it's got four sides. And let's just say these angles is 2x. And then up here we have 2x plus 20. And we'll say this angle down here is also 2x plus 20. And this angle up here is 2x. And so our question that we're asked is we need to find the value of each of these particular angle measures. Okay, so we know that we need to find x first, obviously, before we could ever figure out what this angle right here is in particular. So again, we're trying to figure out the value of all these angles inside of here. So in order to do that, first we've got to think about how in the world we don't know what these values of x are, but we could figure out exactly what the value of the entire thing is. So remember, in order to find the sum, and all of these angles are inside, so they're interior. In order to find the sum of interior angles of any polygon, remember we said yesterday that is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. So let's think about this again, how many different sides that we have. We've got four different sides here. So I could go ahead and put in 4 for n, 4 minus 2 times 180, and 4 minus 2 is 2, so 2 times 180 means that this has to equal up to 360 degrees some way, somehow. So I don't know what these individual angle measures are, but I do know that if I add all of them up, that they should equal up to 360 degrees. So ladies and gentlemen, it is quite possibly just that easy. I'm literally going to take each of these angles right here that I have been given, and I'm going to set those equal to this 360 degrees, which I know has to be what these add up to some way, somehow. So watch this. I'm going to take 2x plus 2x, just going to add these two together, plus 2x plus 20, plus 2x plus 20. So I'm literally just taking everything that's inside of here and I'm adding it up together, and it has to equal 360 degrees. So if I go ahead and look at some like terms here, I've got a 2x and a 2x and a 2x and another 2x. So all of those equal up to 8x. And then I also have a positive 20 and another positive 20 that adds up to 40. And so all of that is still equal to 360 degrees. Again, just working the equation out, I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. It's going to leave me with 8x equals 320. And if I divide by 8 on both sides, x equals 40. Now, that is not my answer. That is my value for x. But again, this was asking me what this actual angle is right here and what this angle is, what each of these angles are. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this 40 right here, and I'm going to substitute it back in for x in each one of these. So 2 times x would, in fact, give me 40. Nope, 40 times 2 would be 80. So this would be 80 degrees. This one would also be 80 degrees. Okay. If I put 40 in here, 2 times 40 plus 20. 2 times 40 is 80. 80 plus 20 gives me 100. And if that angle's 100, then this angle also has to be 100 as well. So these would actually be my answers that would go inside of my quadrilateral here. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Maybe with a little more sides, who knows? Maybe a little bit easier to figure out. So number 2, we have a figure that looks kind of like this. Again, my drawings are awful. Hopefully you guys can get something out of it. So let's say those two angles are 100 degrees. This one is 124 degrees. This one is 118 degrees. And let's say this is the one I'm actually looking for. Okay, so again, I don't know what the value of x is, but I do know how many sides this particular figure has. If you notice, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Okay, so if I've got 5 sides, I can figure out what these all should equal up to. Again, using my same formula, n minus 2 times 180. I have 5 sides, so I'm going to put that in for n. 5 minus 2 times 180 equals 3 times 180, which means that it should equal 540 degrees. So literally all I have to do is add up everything that's inside of my polygon and set that equal to 540 degrees. So here we go. X plus 124 plus 118 plus 100 plus 100, okay? Again, just looking for like terms here. Obviously, all of these are just numerical values, so I could add all of those up. So I'm going to end up with x plus 442 equals 540. In order to get this x by itself, I'm going to have to subtract 442. So I'm going to end up with x equals 98 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my answer. That would go right here, 98 degrees. Okay. Last but certainly not least, again, trying to keep this video short, but yet at the same time, give you the information you need for this practice. Number 3, and I'm going to see if you can recognize what kind of shape that is. Okay. So first of all, how many sides do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you notice I have put congruency marks on all of these, okay? Which means that this is not just a 6-sided figure, but it is a hexagon. And not only is it a hexagon, but it is a regular hexagon, okay? Regular hexagon, which means that all those, if all the sides are the same, that means all of these individual angles are also the same, okay? So here's what we're going to be given. Let's say that this I'm trying to figure out is x, and then let's say I'm also trying to figure out what y is out here, the external angle, okay? So actually the easiest way to probably attack this is to get the external angle first and then work our way toward the inside. Now, if you remember from external angles yesterday, it doesn't matter what kind of figure it is or how many different sides it has. If it is regular like that, then we know that our formula is 360 divided by n. Somehow or another, this has to add up. All these external angles has to add up to 360. So all I have to do is divide it by how many sides I have. Well, I know that I have 6 sides. So 360 divided by 6 is going to be 60. So that means that y has to equal 60 degrees. Now, if y equals 60 degrees, remember that this creates a straight angle, okay? So if this creates a straight angle, that means this has to be 180 degrees. This entire little piece right here, let me just kind of do that. That entire piece has to equal 180 degrees. If it's 180 and this is 60, then that means x has to be 120 degrees, okay? So very quickly we can do this type problem just by using this external form that we learned yesterday, okay? So that's the type of problems you're going to see on your practice. As a matter of fact, you're going to see some of these exact problems on your practice. And so hopefully you've paid attention and took some good notes so that you can be able to perform this practice today. Thanks.